Sometimes, school rules such as dress code or specific hour before you're marked as late are very logical measures. However, other times, some schools might take this to the extreme and enforce some very strict and weird rules that will leave you wondering what was the thinking behind them. Today, we'll be talking about 10 weird school rules you won't believe exist. Remember to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell for more content like this. Rule number 1 is the Schultüte in Germany. If you've ever lived in Germany or have family there, then this long-standing tradition might be familiar to you. We're talking about the Schultüte, also known as Zuckertüte, in some parts of Germany, which roughly translates into school cone or sugar cone in English. The Schultüte is a cone-shaped container made from paper, cardboard, or plastic. When children set off for their day of school upon entering first grade, their parents and/or grandparents present them with a large cardboard cone, attractively decorated and filled with toys, chocolate, candies, sweets, school supplies, and various other special treats. The cone is given to children to make this anxiously awaited first day of school a little sweeter. Most children in Germany are 6 years old when they start school in August or September, depending on which state they live in. The majority of them have already spent a few years in daycare or preschool, which is not part of the public school and is less pedagogical in nature. For kids in Germany, and often their parents too, first grade is a big adjustment. Bake sale ban is second in our list. There was one particular time when bake sales were banned in Massachusetts schools. The Department of Public Health and Education determined the ban is necessary to combat an obesity epidemic affecting a third of the state's 1.5 million students. Unhealthy foods sold during bake sales, classroom parties, and vending machines and during non-lunch hours will be banned. The ban will apply 30 minutes before, during, and after classes in public schools. The changes were part of the state's nutritional standards aimed at fighting childhood obesity. Of course, many parents and school officials were upset, claiming that this measure would hit their wallets, thus making it hard to raise money for school-related expenses like class trips and sports equipment. Rule number 3 are the mandatory naps in China. In most Western cultures, napping is widely reserved for the elderly or small children. However, take a flight to China and you will find out that napping is almost done religiously. In fact, napping is a big part of the Chinese culture. Walk into any Chinese company around lunchtime and you are met with employees reclining on their chairs getting a moment of shut-eye. Students will reserve part of their lunchtime to nap before afternoon classes. This practice is a common custom in much of China, with people getting used to this habit from childhood. While it's not uncommon for kindergartners to take quick naps in China, they allow for older students to take 30-minute naps. Studies have shown a short nap can improve memory and performance in school, which is another reason why this is enforced in schools. At school, it is believed that when learners take a nap, this improves their learning ability and increases alertness. This is a saying in Chinese that means that not napping at noon will lead to you collapsing in the afternoon. Banned dodgeball is fourth on our list of the weirdest school rules ever. This one might not be that surprising if you are acquainted with the game of dodgeball. A New Hampshire school district has banned dodgeball and other human target activities over concerns about violence and bullying. This is because, as you might probably have guessed if you've played this game during your childhood, you might know that whoever gets hit by the ball loses instantly. As per the program manager of the school, games like dodgeball and tag don't keep kids involved and physically active, so they are exclusive games. When looking for a more inclusive curriculum, teachers wanted something that did not objectify the slower students who didn't catch the game. Of course, for fans of dodgeball, that was probably a very sad rule. Rule number 5 is to call boys and girls purple penguins in Nebraska. Nebraska school officials are afraid of offending kids by calling them boys or girls because they may be transgender. The Nebraska public school system in Lincoln has sent all schools new instructions on how to refer to the kids in their classrooms. Teachers have also been instructed to not allow students to ever say boy or girl because it's wrong. Instead, they can be called purple penguins. Of course, this rule has a scientific base behind its implementation. A study released in January by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and the Williams Institute found there was a strong prevalence of bullying and violence faced by transgender and gender nonconforming students. Rates of suicide attempts for these individuals were reported at 41%, almost 10 times that of the general population. With one of the main reported struggles of transgender and gender nonconforming students being correct usage of their desired gender pronoun. It's safer for all not to use any pronouns, hoping no one gets offended. The banned Ugg boots rule in a Pennsylvania middle school comes 6th in our list. Ugg boots are very trendy in some cities of the U.S. However, this Pennsylvania middle school has nothing in particular against the boots, instead being against excessive cell phone usage. In an effort to curb cell phone usage during classes, Pottstown Middle School will require students to leave their beloved fuzzy boots at the door. The reason is because students are using the boots to hide cell phones and bring them into class. District Community Relations Director John Armato told the Pottstown Mercury that current school policy allows students to bring their phones to school but requires them to be kept in their locker during the day. As the most popular brand of boots between students is Ugg, then they were subsequently banned. Rule number 7 is the prohibition of hugs in California. A California junior high school principal banned all high fives and hugs despite obvious complaints from students. She said students should keep their hands to themselves. The point of this rule was to avoid indecent exposure and the possible escalation of indecent behavior between students inside the classroom, which might be caused by some students hugging each other for far too longer than average. This one certainly caused an uproar between students and families, but the principal was firm with the ban on hugs. No Christmas in Frisco is another crazy rule that's in 8th place on our list. An elementary school in Frisco, Texas banned Christmas trees in the colors red and green for a winter party. Boys and girls who attend the Nichols Elementary School winter party will not be able to make any reference to Christmas or any other religious holiday. Christmas trees are also banned, along with the colors red and green. The principal said they didn't want to offend any families, and since each family donates money, and thus they feel this is the best policy. Rule number 9 is the ban on ketchup in France. Similar to the bake sale ban, French elementary schools have introduced a new dietary guideline including limiting the amount of ketchup available in cafeterias. Students will be allowed to consume French fries once a week, and only then can they have their weekly dose of ketchup. They also won't be able to use ketchup on traditional French dishes. Some have claimed that this might be because McDonald's is very big in France, and this new rule might encourage students to try out national dishes and preserve French food culture. This theory is also reinforced because the dietary rules also specify that schools must offer 4 or 5 dishes each day, while French bouguets will be offered in unlimited quantities. And the last weird rule is the ban on red pens in the UK. Teachers at a primary school have been told not to mark children's work in red ink because it encourages a negative approach. Pupils at Upland Manor Primary School in Smethwick, West Midlands, will see their mistakes struck through with a green pen. Penny Penhoward, head of school improvement for Sandwell Council, said, "The color of the pen used for marking is not greatly significant, except that the red pen has negative connotations and can be seen as a negative approach to improving pupils' work. Therefore, it is quite legitimate for a school to have a consistent policy that it uses a different color. Some students might feel that the color red means that they did wrong or that they are a failure, which is why this was implemented. While some of these rules might seem weird, what all of them have in common is that they are all based on previous evidence or tradition. Of course, culture plays an important factor in the design of each of these rules. We thank you for watching our video today and ask you, which one was the weirdest rule in our list? Which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to give us a like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content like today's video. Once more, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Listen!